All right, welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about the dangling pointer problem. So we have our memory map right here. And so let's get started. So the first instruction here is declaring two pointers to integers. So we have P1 and we have P2. And they're pointers, but because we do not have them pointing to any integers or any address of any integers or anything, at this point right here, they are not very useful in our program. Now this statement right here that says P1 equals new int, this is a very important statement right here, because what happens in this statement is that P1 will then be allocated memory. So P1 is allocated memory once by using this new operator, and once P1 is allocated memory, we can access that integer by putting the asterisk in front of it and getting to the value at P1. So P1 points to a new nameless variable. We don't have to have an extra variable for this. We just use the new operator. Say we want to be allocated some memory that is an integer, and we can then use the dereferencing operator to get to the value at. So remember that this means declaration of a pointer. It also means value at. So the next statement assigns 10 to the value at P1. So 10 will be assigned to the value at P1. And now the next statement says P2 equals P1. So P2 will now point to this same location in memory. So we now have two pointers that point to the same location in memory, and we can access it in our program by either using the value at P1, or we could use the value at P2. They are going to both be the same variable. So if we print onto the screen the value at P1, we would print 10. The value at P2, we would print 10. Now what happens here? This delete is to free up memory. So if we say delete P1, you delete P1, P1 no longer exists. When P1 no longer exists, what actually happens is any pointer that was pointing to that same you're not deleting P1 from pointing to this location in memory. You are freeing up this memory. So you're freeing up this memory, and this memory now goes to be available. So P2 that was pointing here is now pointing nowhere. So let me repeat. When you have here, you have P1 is pointing here, and P2 is pointing here, and they're both pointing to the same location in memory. If you delete P1, which that means you remove this pointer, you're not just removing that pointer, you are freeing up this memory. So this memory becomes part of the free store, and now P2 does not point anywhere. And that's called a dangling pointer. So now P2 has become a dangling pointer, and if you try to print the value at P2, you're going to get some weird value because P2 now no longer points anywhere.